Hello and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to give you a few building blocks of an entrepreneurial mind, right? And and we're going to look at how a entrepreneur, thinks a bit differently than a civilian. So the first thing is that mindset component, right? Entrepreneurs are not just your everyday average civilian, right? We think about things differently. We don't think about things all the same way. If you want to kind of transform your life from, let's say a civilian to a entrepreneur, you have to start looking at things differently, right? So an entrepreneur, okay, if you want to be a really successful entrepreneur, you have to kind of switch the little switch in your brain for scarcity, right? So entrepreneur people, they don't look at life as, the scarce place. Whereas the average everyday civilian will look at life and worry about things, right? You cannot have this. You have to have an abundant mindset. Entrepreneurs think in abundance, okay? They also think in opportunity. Just because you cannot see an opportunity doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? Entrepreneurs have an abundance mindset and you should as well. What does this mean? Let's use a very basic example, right? There are so many people in the world. I think there are 7 billion plus, people on this planet, which means that there are 7 billion people, excluding all other organisms and stuff, breathing air. But because more people are born year on year, this number is also like, guys, I think that's one of the most misunderstood metrics, right? Which we'll get in soon, is tracking. But one of the most misunderstood things is people think that the population is getting bigger, but in actual fact, it's top heavy, right? The thing is, more people aren't just getting born, like people are living longer, and that's why you see this top heavy graph, right? So you have like people who are getting born and like a lot of people who are alive and living longer than they used to, right? They're living to like 80, 90 and over 100 years old. You have blue zone areas, right, with the people over 100. But and there are more and more people getting born every single day. There are more and more animals getting born every single day. There are more and more organisms coming into existence every single day, and they're all breathing air. But that doesn't mean that there's less air, right? And you can just take in as much as you want, right? And you take it in and you breathe it out. In order to get more in, you need to get more out, right? So the real big thing about a civilian and entrepreneur is mindset, right? So mindset. Entrepreneurs think in abundant terms, right? We don't think that there's a lack of things. We think that there's an abundance of things. There's not a scarcity of money. There's an abundance of money. Money is printed every single day. It's like fun coupons, right? It's hedged by nothing. And they're just numbers in a system, right? So really, like, you need to understand that as well. The other thing is you need to kind of like track your stuff, right? So tracking. Tracking is another tool that entrepreneurs use. You need to be tracking everything, guys. Honestly, you need to be tracking your diet. You need to be tracking your sleep. You need to be tracking 100% your finances. This is something that you should be doing on a daily basis. You should be waking up and logging your previous day's stats, right? You need to be tracking your productivity. You need to be tracking your time. Time is valuable. It's like it's a non-renewable resource, right? You can always get more money, but you can't get more time. That's why it's really hard to ask someone of value for their time. So guys, the reason why you need to track this stuff, you need to track all of this stuff so that you can get a baseline, right? Averages only present themselves over a large enough data set, right? And over a large enough data set, you'll always have this regression to the mean, right? So you'll have highs, over here, and you'll have lows over here. And the middle is the average, of these highs and lows. So if you want to get like this little baseline over here, and you want to understand where you spend a lot of your time, so over, you'll have really good days and you'll have really good bad days, and in the middle is the average of both of them, right? And this is where you spend most of your time, majority of your time. But you want to understand where that is so that you can improve it, right? How can you raise that average if you don't know what you're looking at, right? And let's say like this is in terms of energy, right? Energy output and productivity and where you spend your time. Okay, so you've got a baseline of, let's say, like how productive you are. And you'll see that your productivity fluctuates depending on what you put into your system, like inputs, right? Your diet and your sleep. And it fluctuates between like, you've got some really good days where you've got really high energy output and you're in flow state and you're able to concentrate on everything. And then like the next day, you're really in like a little bit of a slump and you're tired, and about 12 o'clock in the afternoon you need to go have a nap because you're so tired and your body's just so strained and you're not as productive and you're all over the show and your mind cannot stay focused on a task for very long. So then if you are busy tracking your diet and your sleep, you can actually see where this goes wrong, right? Then you'll realize that, hey, if I eat this, okay, or I don't sleep, like if I only sleep like 4 hours and not 6 hours, or only sleep 6 hours and not 8 hours, my productivity is not as high. And also, maybe I eat too many processed food or processed sugar. So guys, you have to be tracking, right? That which gets tracked can get improved upon. If you don't track anything, you're not going to improve upon anything. And you have to really, really realize that, and you have to really, really drill that into your mind starting from today. You have to be tracking everything, especially your finances, because you'll also understand with your finances that when you get to a certain number, you might spend a lot. And when you reach a certain number, you might stop spending and you might start saving money, right? And the baseline or the middle line of that, right, over a period of time, again, you need to start tracking. You'll be able to see where you really are, and you can start raising those numbers and raising those averages, right? And you can ensure that you have like this positive growth graph, okay? And I spoke about that in a previous message, like how you can ensure that this graph always goes up with the introduction of chaos and the weeding out of chaos and so on and so forth, right? You can apply all these principles together and you can become really like unstoppable, and you'll definitely be able to improve your life using these concepts. And the other thing is another principle that I would like to share with you is price, because I often get asked this, and people ask me how much they should be charging for something, right? How much they should be charging for a service. And I often tell people, hey, look, like when it comes to price, you need to invest in yourself, right? If you have, let's say you have never invested in yourself at all, right? Or you've kind of like bummed courses off of people, or you've got pirate courses, and you've never bought a book in your life, and everything that you've been given in life is just given. You've never had to work towards something or spend anything or any amount of money on yourself, right? How are you going to charge people like, let's say, $1,000 or $2,000 for a service, right? If you've never spent that on yourself, right? So if you have, let's say you've spent like 2K on personal development, you will then be comfortable charging people at 2K, right? Let's say you implement it and, like you're able to apply the principles and you see positive results. You will then be able to say, okay, look, I've spent this amount of money on someone. I think that my knowledge is worth the same amount, right? So you have people out here that have spent millions, I kid you not, right? Millions on themselves, and they are charging like these high ticket prices, 20K 30K for their knowledge, but they feel comfortable charging that because they have paid the price. So this goes down to paying the price, right? You have to pay the price for everything. If you want something big, you need to sacrifice, right? So if you want long-term money, you have to sacrifice short-term spending. If you want to be you want to have like investments and stuff, you're going to have to be willing to not buy chocolates and food and spend money on shit that you don't need. And it's the same thing as your business, right? So you can only charge people the price that you're willing to pay, right? Charge a price you willing, okay, to pay. Most people think this is shit, but subconsciously, trust me, when you're busy sitting with a client, how can you charge comfortably, look at a client in the eyes, okay, or on a call or whatever, and confidently ask for $2,000 for a course, or $2,000 for consulting, or $2,000 for digital marketing, or whatever it is that you do, but you yourself have never paid that? Trust me, guys, subconsciously, you're not going to be able to do that, right? So you should never charge a price that you're not willing to pay for yourself, because otherwise you're confidently not going to be able to do that. So anyway, I thought I'd hop on here and give you a quick little video on some, little tips Okay, some things that I've learned throughout my life. Remember the entrepreneur mindset, guys. If you want to go from civilian to entrepreneur, okay, you're going to have to upgrade these things. You cannot have a scarcity mindset. You have to think in terms of abundance. You have to look at opportunities, but just because you can't see an opportunity doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And you have to work on your mindset, right? Opportunities usually come from problems. Okay, you need to get good at identifying problems. Okay, the only way that a human being can understand something is through its opposite. So the opposite of an opportunity is a problem. So you need to go look for the problems, right? This is again upgrading the mindset, right? Entrepreneurs think about things differently. We don't look at the world the same way as your average person or as the average civilian, right? We look at things with contradiction. Okay, you go out and you look for the opposite always. So when you want to start a new business, you're not looking for an idea. Most people are spending time looking for an idea. This is brokey mentality. Don't think like a robot. You're not looking for an idea. Go look for a problem, and the problem becomes your idea. And you, trust me, by solving it, by making money, okay, you'll become passionate about it. Like if you do not like mathematics, guys, you will like maths. Okay, if you do not like numbers, you will like numbers the minute you start a business and you start making money. Then you'll fall in love with numbers, right? And most people get this wrong as well. They're looking for passion, but trust me, your idea will become your passion. The more abundant you start to feel, you'll be like, this is not that bad, and your passion will change, right? This is why you have people starting things that they didn't really want to do in the beginning, becoming really passionate about, and then swapping again, like pivoting. You can pivot your entire life, right? Everything is an S-curve graph, right? It's like that. And it's like pivoting off of another video that I did, right? It's like an S-shaped graph. So you have to understand this. You have to understand how entrepreneurs work. You have to understand your tracking, right? You have to track all your metrics. You have to track the stuff. If you do not track, you're never going to be successful. If you cannot make it past 1 minute of a video, you're never going to be successful, right? If you expect people to do things for you, newsflash, it's never going to happen, right? Most people's brains are fucked. And it's fucked because they've got too much chaos and too much shit going on, and they never spend time looking for good quality information, right? Outputs are derived from inputs. Good inputs in equal good outputs, right? And that is why mindset is very important. That's why most people neglect mindset, because they think it's bullshit. They want to learn processes, tools, ads, all this stuff without actually fixing the bottom foundational layers and making sure they've got a really, really good foundation. So in order to make the transition from civilian to entrepreneur, you have to do this, right? And then you have to track. Entrepreneurs track things. We know when to improve things. How that other equation, right? How can you change inputs if you don't track the inputs, right? So these are all inputs, right? Diet's an input, sleep's an input, finance is input, productivity, time, these are all inputs, right? How do you understand the output that you're getting if you're not tracking the input, right? Where am I spending my time? How does my calendar look, right? If I want to have a productive day, I need a full calendar. Right? So the output is productive day and the input's full calendar, and then you extrapolate, right? You change things. Okay, so I've got a calendar and now I need to multiply that by sending out messages and stuff to get it booked, and the output's going to be a productive day, a full calendar. You have to understand this principle, right? We track things. You need to track things. Only by tracking things can you understand what to change, and then you have to pay the price. You have to pay the price. This might seem and sound like a lot of work, but if you're not willing to put in the work, you'll never be successful. Also, when it comes to charging for your services, okay, never charge people more than what you are willing to pay. How can you confidently charge someone 10K for your services if you yourself are not willing to pay yourself 10K for services, or you're not willing to pay someone else 10K for services? You're not willing to pay someone else to get you from where you currently are to where you want to be. Okay, you don't want to pay them for coaching or for software, for anything to improve your life and your business. How can you offer a service improving someone else's life and their business if you're not willing to pay that price yourself? You need to pay the price. Okay, and by paying the price, you then subconsciously will say, hey, I've paid the price, someone else can pay the price, right? It's the same thing. If you see someone do something, you can do the same thing, right? Oftentimes we'll see someone do something and then you think to yourself, okay, actually that's not that hard, I can do that, right? You get to that point by first paying the price. You have to pay the price. Okay, by paying the price, you'll be able to charge the price. Okay, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this video made a lot of sense to you. I know there were only 3 principles, but these are core principles, right? If you understand this and apply it to your life, it will change your life foundationally. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful day. Please let me know down below what you thought of this video, and like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll be making more videos like this for you in the future. Till then, bye bye.